Hey, Laura, Cameron-Stedman here. How's everybody doing? It is Sunday afternoon here in Sydney, and it's a lovely day. I just fed my birds. Well, they're actually wild birds, but as you can you see that? Perching on my hand? Lots of claw marks everywhere. And one was actually perched on my baby finger, which is really, really small, and I was like, oh, yeah, that was painful. Yeah, look. How much they dig right in there. It's like a piercing in my thumb. That's just crazy. Alrighty. So today I wanted to talk about getting your own bullshit filter. And here is, I think, one of the biggest problems that we have when we're trying to manifest things, when we're trying to become the person who has the life that we want, has the stuff that we want. It's always about stuff, isn't it? But we listen to other people too much, and we listen to ourselves too much. The stuff that we were told, like when we were younger, all the bullshit kind of stuff that says that, for starters, a lot of it is like, you're not good enough, you will never be a successful person. In order to be successful, you have to do this, this, and this. You have to be conform. You have to work a 9-to-5 job. You have to. The big one for me, I think, was you have to learn how to cook and clean if you ever want anyone to love you, because you have nothing else to offer. That was a good one. Yeah, so I grew up with a lot of lack mentality, a lot. And my life now and then is completely different. And a lot of it has to do with the bullshit filter. The thing that goes, it's okay to go, let me think about that thing you just said to me, and let me see if I really, even if you do believe it, even if somebody says something to you and you do believe it, even if somebody says to you, you're worthless, or even if somebody says to you, you'll never, you suck at so, whatever it is. The reason it's really easy for us to believe it is because we've been also trained to look for reasons why things are not working out for us. We're trained, especially if you're not a successful person, we're really trained to look for the reasons why our life sucks, the reasons why our life's shitty, the reasons why. Like, you can have 20 things that go right and one thing that goes wrong, and you'll focus on that one shitty thing. I totally know. I've been there, done that. Definitely. I was the queen. I had a crown, and I had a sash, and I had a scepter, and it was like walking on stage, doing the wave. I was there totally. But here is the thing that you can do. If something happens, if you have somebody say something, or if you just all of a sudden you start feeling really shitty, think about what you've heard and then question it. It's okay to question it. And when I say question it, I'm not saying go, well, is that true? But say, is it true? But even if you're saying things like, is it true all the time? Because a lot of times what we do is we do it always, or we use words like always and never. You never, do that right. I always fuck this up. Like, it's a lot of times it'll be that kind of stuff. Always and never. So if you can find significant or find examples of times when that's not true, that really does help you to debunk these beliefs. It helps you when somebody says something to you. If you say, we take everything personally, but it's which it is. But if you take something that somebody has said to you and say, instead of feeling really crappy about it, say, is that really true? And it might be, even if it's true at this time, is that always true? And most of the time it is not. So if somebody says to you, you are a terrible communicator, or let's just make something up. And maybe you're like on a video and sometimes you stutter a little bit and say, go off on tangents, which is actually totally fine, by the way. But even if somebody had said that to me, then I have to say, okay, well, am I always a terrible communicator? And am I one right now? Are you getting what I'm saying? Yes. Am I doing it in the way that a lot of other people do it? No. Is that okay? Yes. So a lot of times what it is you're not being the way that I would like you to be when people are saying things to you. So that is another good thing to think about when you're looking, when you're using this bullshit filter. Being able to go, I don't think that's true. That's totally fine. I think that's bullshit. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep trucking. I'm going to keep looking forward. I'm not going to look for the reasons why I'm not succeeding at doing something. I'm going to look for the reasons that I am. And this is a really interesting point actually about gratitude, because I think that people, gratitude is fantastic. I think you should be grateful for the stuff that you get in your life. But I think that we use it a little bit strangely. It becomes almost a way to be humble and a way to not accept that you could possibly have something better in your life. I think a lot of us, when we come from really a place of a lot of lack, a place of like a lack mentality, being humble and being, I don't think that it means the same thing as a lot of people think. It's not settling for less. And we do get that mixed up, I think. Being humble does not mean you're settling for less. You can still be a millionaire and be humble. You can still have 3 jets in your backyard that you fly because you're awesome, and you have a mansion and with donkeys and a helicopter pad, I don't know, whatever, and you can still be not pushing it in people's faces. Humble and settling for less are not the same thing. So that's one of the crappy beliefs that we tell ourselves. And hanging out with people who believe the same thing is also, it wears down your bullshit filter. When you start hearing the same thing from a lot of different people because they all want you to be the same as them, which is what happens. You want people to be the same as you. You want people to validate you. So you say a whole bunch of stuff. But if you have a whole bunch of people that are around you that are the same, that believe the same things, you tend to start believing it. So your bullshit filter it stops working. And you start believing all of it. You start believing that that rich people are nasty people, and you start believing that you'll never make it, be successful, and you start believing that you're always going to live in a trailer park or whatever it is that people told you, and you're always going, that you're never going to have somebody who cares about you. This is the one thing, like seriously, that's what I was taught when I was young, was that the only way anybody was ever going to be in a relationship was if I could learn how to cook and clean, because I had nothing else, and that nobody would ever love me. And that's the kind of thing that I grew up with. That's the kind of, and so this is why I love doing this work, because my husband and I have been married for 10 years, and yes, it did take once I started doing mindset work, it completely shifted everything. I had a lot of trouble with relationships before this one, but this is like amazing. And I don't live in a trailer park. I live in Sydney, Australia. I'm a citizen now. My husband and I live in an awesome apartment with a view of the water, and we do really well. And from my beginnings, this life is like a dream compared to what I was supposed to have, or what the lack mentality, like what somebody who believes in that could possibly have. I have totally, like, yeah, it's another world. But if I still believed all of that stuff, and I still get, times where I feel like insecure. I definitely have times when I feel insecure, because those things pop up every now and then that say you don't deserve this, that you aren't worth this, that you that it's all going to go away, that it's all like, I still get those things. But then what I need to do is look at them and say, is this true? Is this really true? Or is this something that came from a lack mentality that doesn't apply to my life anymore? So I really want you to think about this stuff. And I love working with people to find these things. It's the biggest thing that I think people should take out of the work that I do and the work that a lot of other people do as well, is that just taking responsibility for your life changes everything. It's so easy, like I said, to look for the reasons why your life sucks, why, the things that you were taught to believe, that, your DNA, all of these reasons why your life sucks. Instead of gratitude, where you wake up every morning and say, I'm so grateful because I am alive, and think, yes, definitely say that. But I think using gratitude also to go, what are the things that I really want in my life? And what are the reasons, what reasons can I find that tell me that it's working out? And look for those reasons. That is what we should be concentrating on. Yes, being grateful for, if you're finding money in the street, or if that's what you're wanting is money. Yeah, finding money in the street. I'm so grateful that I found this money in the street. But instead of just saying, I'm so grateful, say, this is proof that that this stuff's working, that what I want is happening, that this is the reason I've found this thing that proves to me that, what I want is coming to me. I think that's a really, really exciting way to just change it up a little bit, change up gratitude just a touch, but it helps a lot. Anyway, so stop telling ourselves crap. And when we do tell ourselves crap, and we tell ourselves the most crap of anyone, if you have something like, I'm always going to be blah, 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 or I'm never going to be blah, 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 make up a thing that you tell yourself often. Write these things down. If you find yourself telling yourself things, write them down. And especially if you say always and never a lot, write down those always and never statements, and then find things that are the opposite. Like, find things that make that not true. Because if it's always or never, it has to be true 100% of the time. So if it's only true 10% of the time, then it's not true. So look for those things. Bullshit filter. I wish everybody the best Series 1000 super duper BS finder crusher filter. I wish you all of that. And then your life will, once you start questioning those things that you tell yourself, once you start questioning the beliefs that you hold, and sometimes you don't really go, oh, this is my belief. But if you look at your life, you'll be able to see what your beliefs are. And especially if you really feel something strongly, you react to something really strongly, you'll know that you have a really deep-seated belief and that you need to work on that. So work on that and say, what can I say? What can I, write down that makes this belief untrue? And you'll be really surprised that you start going, well, why do I even think that's ridiculous? That doesn't even make sense. This happens twice in the last 2 years, and I think I've jumped on it as the reason that my life sucks, when 98 times in the last year it was awesome, or it was different, or it was fine. And I think this might not be very popular, but I think a big reason why we look for the reasons that things suck is because you get something from being a victim or a martyr. Because if you didn't, you wouldn't do it. So you get something from that. And I'm not talking about when you go jump on and go people who've had really, really terrible things happen, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just talking about staying in that mentality, even after, things happen, or after if you've grown up with certain ideas or beliefs, and staying there, it doesn't help you at all. We feel like it helps us because it connects us with other people. And that's really all you're doing. You're connecting yourself with other people who feel the same way. If you want to be successful, though, you need to think about this. You need to go, I'm not going to look at those reasons why my life sucks. I'm just going to focus on the reasons why my life's awesome. And I'm going to use my bullshit detector, and it's going to be, your life will get better. Trust me, it totally will get better if you install your bullshit filter. And only let yourself listen and believe the positive things that will make your life better. And yeah, it'll help you a lot. And it is hard. It is really hard. This is not a black and white thing. None of this stuff is black and white. Otherwise, people would be like, really, having a crappy life and then having a great life and having lots of money. Like, it's a slow train, right? And some people are on a faster train than some people, and that's okay. But it does take time to change your beliefs. It does, it does totally take time to do that. Don't feel bad about that. If you do want to work on that, get in contact with me on my website, Cameron-Stedman.com. I've got new stuff happening. I've got a program up. Of course, it's called Manifest with Acting, because I do believe this. There are 3 things that we really need to work on in order to manifest the life that you want. Number 1, love yourself. Now, hey, Donnie. Love yourself is the first one. First step in manifesting the life you want. And part of that is doing whatever you can every day to feel great. And this is where a lot of red alarm bells and things go off for people, and red flags that go, what? Feel great. Because you want other people to, there's a whole thing with other people. I'm not actually going to get into it. But feeling great and loving yourself, that is the first step that you need to do. Well, it's not steps. They're all kind of intercombined, actually. They're all combined with each other. Loving yourself, releasing the bullshit. So changing your limiting beliefs, which installing a bullshit filter helps a lot. And then the third thing is becoming the person who has the life you want. That doesn't mean you become a completely different person. That just means you become you. Imagine yourself in 2 years making the amount of money that you want to make, having the relationships you want to have, having the car you want, the house you want, the money you want, all of that stuff. Imagine that person, you, with all of your quirks, with all of your uniqueness, with all of your whatever, in 2 years. We're just pulling that person who's you to now. So you can actually become that person and have the stuff in your life and feel that now. So those are the things we work on. And a big part of that is getting into alpha state and focusing on what you want, really. It's a huge deal, instead of focusing on all the bullshit and all of the reasons we don't have what we want. All right, so my name is Cameron-Stedman. I have on my website, if you go check it out, there's a free video training, and it's less than 7 minutes long. Yes, that's what I said. And it's called Love Yourself Fierce Edition. It's a video training, and it will help you to love yourself fiercely and to just be freaking awesome and feel great as more than you do now. And if you feel great a lot now, that's great. You'll feel better, even more better, even all the time, as much as humanly possible. That's what I'm going for. Anyway, my name is Cameron-Stedman. I hope you enjoyed that. I will see you on my website. Oh, and my Facebook group is called Mindset Jam, and it's all about blowing those limiting beliefs out of the water. And I'm Canadian, so I had to put a beaver on there. It's a kind of funny thing. Anyway, see you later. Bye.